Very important topic that is completely misunderstood and is often surrounded by shame and guilt and heaviness, and it should be the opposite. And that is Shavavim. Shavavim. Has anyone heard of Shavavim? Shavavim, it says here, Kvar Naidev Yisrael Gadal Mailas Yemei HaShavavim. Everyone knows that these 6 weeks are very, very special weeks. Special, amazing weeks. Amazing weeks. Especially in amazing weeks. Shavavim comes from a pasuk. It says, Shavu Banim Shavavim. Return, wayward children. Shavavim means wayward. Far away. Wandered away. Return. Come back. Do tshuva. Come back to Hashem. Have a relationship with Hashem. With your neshama. Shavavim. And why is it these 6 weeks of the year? Because the first letter of the 6 Parshas, beginning with Parsha Shmot, spell Shavavim. Shmot Vayera Bo B'Shalach Yisro Mishpatim. Shavavim. Spell Shavavim. And it says, Yesh koyach miyuchad liskad letikun habrit. It's a very, very, very special time to fix the Brit. So most people hear that and they say, oh, sexual immorality and pornography and masturbation and taivas and I'm bad and all these things. And that's not what it is. That is an aspect of it certainly, but that's not what the Brit is. So you've got to look up much deeper. So the sexual energy is definitely the most animalistic and therefore also the most holy energy there is. Is both, depending on how it's channeled. And we've got to learn about that, and it's important. What are you looking at? You shouldn't be looking at things you shouldn't be looking at, whatever. But we also have to remember that it's completely normal, completely natural, and if you didn't have that, there would be something wrong with you. I would be more worried if you didn't have sexual drive than if you did. In fact, if you have sexual drive, I'm not worried at all. It means you're a perfectly well-functioning human male. Well done. And you want to be challenging it in the right direction, that's all. So he basically says that most people, when they hear about the idea of Tikkun HaBrit and Shavavim, it's a bit heavy. It's like, okay. And it's because they got it completely wrong, completely confused. Because they think that it's difficult day, Shirak Tzarech Litanot. You think we just have to fast and do everything because it's all about overcoming your physical desire. You have a physical desire and you have to overcome it and control it. And who wants to do that? I don't want to do that. Now I know I have to do that, but I don't want to do that, but I will if I have to. So it's a bit wrong. That's not at all. That's not what Shavavim is. Forget it. Now obviously that's a part of it, but that's a side part of it. But that's not what it's all about. People think that's the whole thing. I should feel bad about sexual immorality and sexual desire, and I feel bad about it, and I've got to have self-control and work on it. Shavavim, wrong. Totally wrong. That's a piece of it which is about there. Now we can talk about what Shavavim. Ha'emeti. The truth is, these days are full of light. Immense spiritual light in these days. Meleim kirvat Hashem. Full of closeness to Hashem, the opportunity for closeness to Hashem. By the way, if you watch pornography and masturbate, does Hashem hate you? He gave up on you, he hates you, he thinks you're disgusting? No. He feels pain for you. He's like, I'm so sorry that you're caught up in there. But if your children watch pornography and masturbate, you're going to hate them? You're going to hate them? You're going to be there, you're going to help them, you're going to... So, no guilt, no shame, none of that. It's ridiculous, don't do it. Immense kirvat Hashem. Amazing opportunity to be close to Hashem. Not because that means you're perfect. You're not close to Hashem because you're perfect. You don't have to be perfect to come close to Hashem, it's just got to be authentic. Be authentic and be real. Be good, I love, and then you get the pleasure, the true pleasure of spirituality. Because we say there are many different levels of pleasure. There's physical pleasure, and then there's emotional pleasure, there's spiritual pleasure. There are all different pleasures in the world. And we all know emotional pleasure is categorically greater than physical pleasure. You all know that. You'd give up your 5 favorite foods for the person you love. You might not love them anymore. But theoretically speaking, if you had a choice, the woman you love, real love, but that means you can't have your 5 favorite foods. Or, no, you can have 5 favorite foods, but you'll never be in love. It's obvious, I hope. Otherwise you'll just be a bit weird. Why is that? How about your 10 favorite foods? You'd give up eating. You'd not give up eating, but you'd be like, for the woman I love. This is theoretical because you can marry the woman you love and still eat your 5 favorite foods on Shabbos, not during the week. You shouldn't be eating your favorite food during the week, by the way. That's a whole different class. You work out what your favorite food is, don't eat it during the week. Save it for Shabbos. 2 reasons. Number 1, self-control. And number 2, Shabbos. I only eat mayonnaise on Shabbos. Only on Shabbos. I love mayonnaise. Mayonnaise on everything. Apart from ice cream and fruit. So I don't eat it during the week. Then it gives me self-control. And then Shabbos, I'm always smearing ice cream all over my bed. I mean mayonnaise. Not really, but you get the idea. Ki ein davar ma'aneg yaiter me'abrit. There is no greater pleasure than the Brit. So obviously you think that means then sexual pleasure, but it doesn't. It means the Brit, the bris. What is the bris? The bris between Abraham and Hashem, the bris between Basar. We got the bris. We then say that the male genital organ is a sign of the bris, but it's not the bris. When you're going to a bris, you're not really going to a bris. You are, but you're going to a sign of the bris. It shouldn't be called a bris. It should be called a ceremony to publicize the sign of the bris. But it's not a bris. A bris at all. Because spiritual connection is an extremely great pleasure. Has anyone meditated for 3 hours and left their body? Yeah?
No.
It's a great pleasure. Immense pleasure. Immense pleasure. Now some people maybe access this type of pleasure through plant medicines. And although I don't think it's a viable way to do this, it does give an insight into what's there. I think it damages your natural ability to get there then. Because you tasted it in a counterfeit way. So it was very, very, very hard to get back to that place without it. Ram Dass actually said if he knew what he knew once he got to India, he never would have done any psychedelics. That's quite big. He said he messed it up. He feels, once he met his guru, I was about to say his Rebbe guru, he was like, he regretted doing that. It says that you need to experience Hashem. The experience of Hashem is the greatest pleasure you can have. This is why Shabbos is the greatest, because Shabbos is le'ein olam haba, it's a taste. It's a taste of Hashem. Ve'achlu toiv v'yitaneg b'deshen nafshech v'derechecha darchei noam. His pathways, the pathways of the Torah, is meant to be sweet. We're meant to be experiencing sweetness in our Torah. It's not meant to be a burden. It's not meant, now we're meant to work. You've got to work for the sweetness. But you're meant to enjoy mincha. You're meant to really enjoy putting on tefillin. What gives you more pleasure? Your favorite food or putting on tefillin? Now be real, for most people, their favorite food, really. If you actually think about it, Tefillin's alright, I'll do it, I like it, it's nice. But that nice juicy steak, then suddenly your eyes light up a bit. You're like, and the hot sauce, and your tefillin are like, no, tefillin are okay, I like them. But we want it to be the other. We want to get immense. Tamar Ra'u Kitab Hashem means an experience. Taste is an experience. What is it? Aish.
What else is it?
I
don't have a rabbi and the Hassi pen.
Okay, I went to.
That's next, you know what I'm saying?
So last night for the first time. I'd never been before, but my rabbi, I was with them for Pesach last year in Melbourne, and he because we found the Cohen, he took us there, the kids tour. I went and I was like, in my mind, like, this is Mamash Gan Eden, like this is like, I love meat. And I went there and like, the beginning of first, they do like 8-course meat meal.
Don't they have
Screens. It's much like Kashmir. It's like the water.
Where is this?
It's near Cinema City. It's like this 8-course meat meal.
I almost went there last night.
It's like 250 shekel a head. But I went there and like the first meal amazing, second, third, fourth, my sixth one. I'm telling you, normally like I eat a lot of food. I was at the 7th meal, and I felt like an animal, and there was nothing. I had like this full clarity. I'm like, all I want to do right now is be in the base of nutrition, learn Torah. Like, and that's always permanent. And you never get that feeling of like, I'm going to vomit from learning Torah, but with physical things. That was the epitome of like what I thought was the best thing in the world. And I was like, I just want to get out of here. I've never seen meat so disgustingly.
And the scream where everyone's like, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Every time that I like put the meat and the drizzle like with sauce, everyone's like, yeah. I was like, I've never seen that anywhere in the world. I'm in Israel. I'm like,
it's a house of food prostitution. Let's understand. A house of food prostitution. It's idol worship. It's mamish idol worship. At some point, it's like, just give me that raw. Don't even cook it. Sick. By the way, your neshama wasn't there, so it's okay. Your neshama left. As your body walked in the door, the neshama left. The ruach and the nefesh were there, but the neshama can't be there. 100%. I'm not even joking. The neshama can't go in there. It's like if you walk into a strip club, your neshama is not going to be there with you. It leaves. The neshama leaves. The Tanya says most people don't have their neshama. The neshama is hanging around somewhere, but it's not actually part of their psyche, because if you're looking at porno, if you're looking at something you're not meant to look at, your neshama says, I can't be there.
When you learn Torah, when your son comes back.
Yeah. Or when you read, or when you do chesed, or when you do a mitzvah, or when you talk to Hashem.
So does that mean you lose your gates of Tov in these places?
You don't have that. You have a teva tov that you never lose, hopefully, which is I'm a good-natured person, so that keeps you in the game. But you don't have the yetzer tov, which is an extra.
How do you feel like the kavod with tefillin? Like something like kibbud av v'em, like that makes sense. Like it makes sense, but like.
The kibbud av v'em is between you and another person. There are some mitzvahs between you and Hashem, some mitzvahs between you and Allah. The first thing is you have to very, very, very deeply understand what you're doing. Because if they're just black boxes with straps, that's actually just really weird.
Yeah.
It's just a weird thing to do. In fact, I remember the first time I put on tefillin, I felt a bit icky. I was like, this feels so naive and stupid. Like, I kind of did it. Now, the highlight of my day is putting on my Rabbeinu Tam.
How do you get to that point? What do you need to read?
Two things. Firstly, you need to be yearning for the light of Hashem that tefillin gives you. You have to be you got to know what a mitzvah is. A mitzvah is feeding your soul. It's connecting you to Hashem.
You have to understand the prayer.
You have to definitely understand what it's saying. But then you have to do its vaininess. You have to contemplate. You have to understand what is this? It's my head and my heart and my actions. I want them to be in line. And I wrap it. Those of you who are connected to Hashem, you're called truly alive. That's real vitality. And you've got to know that you just binded yourself to Hashem. And you've got a shin and a dalet and a yud. You've got Hashem's name, Shaddai, on your body. You basically tied yourself to Hashem.
So
Wisdom.
why leather and why like
On the back of
boxes?
your.
So learn that.
Yeah. What do I learn?
Find a book that teaches you that. The more you learn, the more you know. Shin Daled Yud. You got
The shin's on the box.
Depends what nusach.
No, the shin is on your hand.
Oh, right.
Chabad of the shin.
Yeah.
Whatever. People, there are different ways, but you basically you have
And then Daled is
shin
the knot.
Daled Yud, and then the knot of the on the box on the head to fill it. There's a knot on the arm to fill it.
Oh, yeah. That's the yud.
That's the Yud.
I think the youths, everyone's got these different
They're
sizes.
different, whatever. But in general, everyone's got a shin Daled and
Yeah,
Yud.
different ways.
Right. So, if you feel like I'm literally tying myself to a shit, that's going to change how you're going to do it. If you're breathing as you're doing it through your nose. But if you're just like, okay, let's put them on, catch up, they're already in Pesukah Zimra, I've got to catch up. Again, put them on, Baruch Atah Hashem, to fill in. Baruch Atah Hashem, to fill in, okay, let's go. But also you have to be pulling yourself away. On the other side, you've got to be pulling yourself away from Pitmaster. Maybe going to Pitmaster is the best thing you did, because it taught you a great lesson. No, you great lesson. It's good for you to go back there and realize, oh, it's stressful. You're like, yeah, I learned my lesson and I only have 5 courses next time.
6.
Don't go any further. Never steps. Don't put your feet in there again. God forbid. God forbid. And the whole idea of Shmiras Bris, Eina inyan sheba l'archik et adam tanug. Protecting the bris isn't about distancing you from eineg, from pleasure, from delight. El adarabah, lepum fakir, lehefech, the opposite. Shmiras Bris notenet la'adam et tanug amiti. It gives you the real pleasure. You know all the little pleasures you have? They're so superficial and temporary and intense and effortless. Masturbation. What? Worth it? Not worth it. You didn't get what you think that satisfied. Basically, it took away a craving. So basically, it got rid of a pain. Most people's pleasure is actually I just got rid of a pain. Why do people like smoking a cigarette? Because I really need a cigarette. So it feels bad, smoking a cigarette. Feels good, why? Because it doesn't feel bad. It only feels good because you took away the bad. It's like if I stick my finger in your eye and I take it out and you're like, wow, that feels great. It feels so good not to have a finger in my eye. That's so sad. There's something called positive pleasure. Most people's pleasure is going from negative to neutral. I just got rid of my pain. My pain of craving. But we want spiritual pleasure. Eta keshem boiroi, with the connection and relationship with your own neshama, with Hashem, with love, the connection with Chesed, Shabbat. For me, when I hear the word Shabbos, it's like having an orgasm. So someone says Shabbos, I'm just like, Shabbos. How do you live without Shabbos? What is life without Shabbos? Shabbos. It's another day. Saturday. Shabbos. So for a Jew, he only has 3 stages of his life. He's got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, preparing for Shabbos. Shabbos is Shabbos. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is integrating Shabbos into the next week. Then you got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, integration. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, integration. Shabbos. So it's just like, which means you need to be learning about Shabbos. You need to speak about Shabbos all the time. Zachor et Yom HaShabbat L'Kadshai. You have a mitzvah to remember Shabbos. When does that mitzvah apply?
Every day, no?
Every time you remember Shabbos, you just did a mitzvah from the Torah. How many mitzvahs do you do from the Torah? To fill in, tzitzit, shema, benching, v'ahavta l'recha kamocha, learning Torah. What else? What other mitzvahs from the Torah did you do today? We actually don't get to do that many. Mezuzah, if you want to take attention to mezuzah.
Chesed.
Chesed, v'ahavta l'recha kamocha.
Right, mezuzah. Not kissing mezuzah.
Well, being consciously aware of it.
Okay.
So it's Ryan in the morning.
Remembering that it is return. Is that one of the 613 mitzvahs that you have to remember?
What is it?
Now, every time you just breathe through your nose and say, Shabbos. Now you did a mitzvah, right? And you can do that 100 times a day. Shabbos. I love Shabbos. Oh, mitzvah, right? Shabbos. Oh, mitzvah, right? Oh, Shabbos. 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 And what does Shabbos mean? Shabbos really means I'm consciously aware that there's a conscious creator of the universe who wants a relationship with me. Zeicher le'maaseh bereshit, zeicher le'yatzir Yisrael. Say it on Kiddush. Shabbos is to remember that there's a creator and remember the creator wants a relationship. Zeicher le'maaseh bereshit, there's a creator, zeicher le'yatzir Yisrael wants a relationship. So every time you remember there's a creator who has a relationship, you're tapping into Bechinas Shabbos Kodesh, you're saying Shabbos, Mitzvah Torah, saying Shabbos. Every morning you say the song of the day. Say the song of the day in the morning. How does the song of the day start? Hayom Yom Chamishi B'Shabbos. B'Shabbos. The weekday is Shabbos as well. It's just weekday Shabbos. And then Shabbos is Shabbos. But if you don't bring Shabbos into the weekday, then the weekday is a weekday. You can make every weekday Shabbos. Basically, you got Shabbos and then Chol Hamoed Shabbos. So why is Yom Rishon called Yom Rishon? Because it's the first day of getting ready for Shabbos. Yom Sheni is second day of getting ready. We don't have day names in Hebrew. We call it first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day Shabbos. Shabbos. And there are some Jews who just don't know about Shabbos, they don't keep Shabbos. And even some people are like, how could you keep Shabbos? That's so weird. No phones, no money, and no work. That's what we do all day, every day. So we're like, yeah, no distractions. Just yichud with Hashem. Awesome. Yom Shekulo Shabbos. The next world is going to be Yom, it's going to be Shabbos. So we've got to make it now. Yom Shekulo Shabbos. Kirak zeh tanug yamiti. Only spiritual pleasure is true pleasure. Only spiritual pleasure is true pleasure. Now we want you to have physical. Does Hashem want us to get physical pleasure from this world? How do you know? Because you have taste buds and 2,000 different types of fruit. Didn't need to do that. In fact, the two first mitzvahs in the Torah, the two first things that God says to humankind is Pru Ravu and eat fruit. Make love and eat fruit. That's how Hashem introduces himself to humankind. Make love, eat fruit. Not together, probably. Cool. So Hashem wants us to enjoy it. But the pleasure isn't the purpose, the pleasure is the pathway to connection. Pleasure without connection, disgusting. Pleasure as a pathway to connection, beautiful. And the reward for connection, pleasure. Pleasure is the pathway and the reward, it's not the goal. The goal is connection. That's what we're living for, connection. And that's what a bris is. Bris is connection. That's what it means. A brit. If we have a if we sign a contract, if we have a covenant, that means we have a connection. Now some connections are the opposite, some contracts are opposite. Like Laban and Esav, we have a contract never to see each other again. I mean, Laban and Yaakov, we have a contract to never see each other again. You can't cross over here. So that was a strong obligation, a strong responsibility never to see each other again. But most contracts are the opposite, a strong obligation to be intimately connected. So that's what a bris is. Strong obligation to be intimately connected. So when it's tikkun a bris, it doesn't mean just your sexual desire, it means Are you tapping into that strong obligation to be intimately connected to Hashem? And one of the aspects is to guard your bris. And that's just a side little thing you have to do as well. And then you see, and it's something called lechem kazabed lislay. It's bread. V'tchilatam matok. At the beginning it's sweet. V'seifam ma'al meyad. At the end it's very bitter. So at the beginning, your meal was sweet, but by the end it was very bitter. And you do lots of things in your life. Start downing, chugging your tequilas or whatever. At the beginning, at the end, you're throwing up out your nose. Naftali of Ropshitz, I think, his grandson, went in the river mikveh, ice cold. They used to do that in the Ukraine. And he was like, freezing. He was like, and they came out. They put a big towel around him. One day, he was like, He said, I just want to teach you a lesson. Sometimes when you do a mitzvah, it begins with but it always ends with When you're doing a very opposite, begins with but ends up with
Going back to what you were saying about it starting nice and bitter, is there a way to just start nice and not end in the bitter part?
Yes, spiritual pleasure. Good, right pleasure. Because the pleasure of a cigarette is just going to build the craving for a cigarette, which is going to cause more bitterness. And then you just have to take away with another cigarette. So feeding your craving is just creating more craving.
So having a nice steak and having one, that's enough. And then go back.
Okay, but even how much pleasure is that? After, how long does it take you to eat it? 10 minutes? And then what, the taste went over your tongue? And then now what? Great, now you're going to have to go to the toilet. That's nice. So you'll remember, yeah, that was a really nice thing. But not as nice as that was a really nice moment I had with my daughter when she really needed her father to be there for her. And she looked at me with her puppy eyes and said, thank you, Abba, for being there for me. That, compared to a steak, you give me the nicest steak in the world, there's not a billionth of when your daughter says thank you, Abba. Nothing. Not even near, it's not even the same category of pleasure. It's just a whole different world. So even the okay ones, they don't finish well, but what are they? Mazel tov. They end up as waste material in the bathroom. What's the time?
2:35.
Okay, that's good. But so basically he's saying, let's get the right idea of Shovavim. Shovavim isn't a heavy, shame and guilt-ridden sexual thing. That's not Shovavim. Shovavim is an amazing opportunity to realign ourselves with true pleasure. Pleasure of Kirvat Elokim Tov, true connection to God.
What? So you.
Where's that going up?